police! Appelle la police! هذا نفيس! ماما تدعي
An Islamic attack, an Islamophobic attack. We had the terrible murder of the teacher Samuel Paty, and now 2 French women have been stabbed in possibly a revenge attack. French women of Muslim background. It was apparently both a racist attack and an Islamophobic attack. Go home to your own country. 2 women arrested for apparent racially aggravated knife attack near Paris. And it's been said that this has not received as much attention in the press as it should have. We're giving it some attention tonight. Let's see if we can break down why terrible attacks like this happen and what we can do to prevent them. 2 Muslim women stabbed under the Eiffel Tower by white women shouting dirty Arabs. Okay. And apparently there was a dog involved in the incident. There was some disagreement over a dog being on the lead or not. And then 2 women ended up getting stabbed by other women. Now, it's frightening enough that dog walkers are carrying knives with them. And it's frightening enough that people can be attacked just because of their religion. On Twitter, the French media seems to be completely ignoring this event. This would be all over French press if the attackers were Muslim. 4 Algerian Muslim women were walking with their children near the Eiffel Tower and they were stabbed. So French women, but of an Algerian background. And people are contrasting the coverage of the horrific murder of Samuel Paty by a Chechen asylum seeker, 18-year-old, and the attempted murder of these 2 women of Algerian background. And there seems to be some discrepancy over how this is being treated in the media. Why haven't we heard about it? Why did we hear all about one of them? Well, hate crimes in general are on the rise in France, apparently. And I think the difference between a hate crime such as this, and it apparently is a hate crime, and a terrorist attack like the attack that killed the teacher, is that terrorists want to draw attention to their cause. You could rename a terrorist attack violent publicity stunt, whereas people who carry out hate crimes want to legitimize their actions, maybe want to style it as self-defense. There's a difference between stabbing somebody in the park and hacking their head off and beheading them. Because when you stab someone, if it is your intention to later on argue it was self-defense, even if it wasn't, and I doubt very much it was in this case, at least you have some plausible deniability. You can never chop someone's head off in defense, because as soon as you've got, a quarter of the way through hacking through their windpipe, they are no longer a threat to you, are they? So maybe this is why there's a difference in the way that terrorist attacks, which are attention-seeking, are portrayed in the media as compared with hate crimes that want to be swept under the rug by the perpetrators and maybe by the mainstream press as well. Maybe there's an agenda that wants to portray certain types of attacks as more common than others, or more credible, more newsworthy. They say that in media you need a man bites dog story, and dogs bite people all the time, don't they? And that's never in the news. But if a man bites a dog, then you've got yourself a story. I wonder if this is a man bites dog story. Here's a map showing anti-Muslim attacks after the Charlie Hebdo massacre. So you can see that they're not uncommon, are they? And the Charlie Hebdo massacre was certainly a catalyst for these Islamophobic attacks. So maybe an Islamophobic attack is not newsworthy because it happens so often. Maybe the other types of crimes that we've spoken about are more shocking because they don't happen so often. Are we that used to seeing Islamophobic attacks in the news that it doesn't matter? I read that there was something like 150 Islamophobic attacks in the last year. So that's one every other day. So you're not going to have to wait long if you're anticipating that one is about to happen. But as this news story shows, it's more than just attacks on Muslims. Hate crimes of all sorts seem to be rife, and that's some racist graffiti we can see in the background there. So yeah, overall in 2014 there were 133 attacks on Muslims, so that's one every other day roughly, and 850 of an anti-Semitic nature based on complaints logged with the police. So that's quite shocking really, but we have to look at demographics. And if you think about the type of people and the population that would be victim of anti-Semitic attacks, their population is far, far smaller than the Muslim population. So does that mean pound for pound there's certainly there's more incidents been logged of it, and a greater chance of you being a victim of an anti-Semitic attack? Party Momentum is saying the Muslim and Christian divide is going strong. Yes, very, very sadly it is. And that's not just in France, that's in certainly the East, certainly with what Turkey is doing in Azerbaijan. Piety Momentum saying, who's benefiting? Muslims? No. Christians? No. Well, divide and conquer is the saying, isn't it? Let's have a look at our next bit of statistics. Okay, this is the footage. We're not going to learn much from this because it's not very audible, unfortunately. But this is what happened. This is all the information we've got. It's a horrendous attack, and it didn't receive the media exposure that the other terrorist attack received. And I reiterate what I said earlier, a terrorist attack is an attention-seeking publicity stunt, whereas everyday hate crimes, and we've read that there's an anti-Islamic hate crime in France on average every other day, slip under the radar. And we should call them out, but I think it would be naive to expect the kind of attention that the terrorist attack received, because when you think about the power structure and the bias of the media, the French media was always likely to be biased in favour of French people. Piety Momentum saying, already out of jobs now, let's bring the working class down further by making them pay crazy prices for cheap food. If China goes down, there's an attack on humanity. Yeah, there's a lot going on. And he also mentions this is all to derail the prophecy of Muslims and Eastern Orthodox Christians uniting. They are now trying to bring down China so that working class people will pay a lot more for cheap goods. Yeah, it's interesting that you mention the Eastern Orthodox Christians, and France, although a Catholic country, is very much secular and very proud of its secular values. And the Eastern Orthodox Christians would be in countries like Russia, Greece. Russia is the powerhouse when it comes to the Eastern Orthodox Christians. And the attacker who killed the teacher was a Chechen, and for a long time Chechnya waged a war of they tried to gain independence from Russia. They wanted greater autonomy, and Putin has managed to solve that problem, and somehow he has grown close with the Chechen leaders. So maybe Vladimir Putin is reaching out to certain Muslims, not all, and we know that China is clamping down on certain types of Muslims as well, but equally China has a good relationship with some of the Muslim countries, and we started hearing about the terrible treatment of Muslims in China the minute China took a step towards friendship with Pakistan. So you said it, it's all divide and conquer. I don't want to be divisive on this show. I am not trying to single anyone out, and I try and treat all people, all religions equally, and I hope that people that watch this show would do the same. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments. Did this story not receive enough attention in the media? And if so, why? Thank you for watching. This has been Lessons for Life, and we'll do it all again soon. We were here, and we're gone. Latest.